Hey, what's going on? It's Jason Lucchese with the No Flipping Excuses show. I am so excited that you're joining us. Man, this is going to be a great show. I've got a good friend that is joining us. But before I give his introduction, I want to say one thing. If you are returning, I just want to say I appreciate you. If you are brand new, make sure you click that subscribe button below. Would love to have you as a subscriber. You get notified of brand new episodes just like this. And if you enjoy this video, which I'm sure you're going to, make sure you give us a thumbs up, click that like button. Would love to see that feedback from you, and we'll always continue the conversation below in the comments section. So without further ado, I've got my good friend, Mr. Justin Colby, the science of flipping. How's it going, my friend?
What's up, dude? Appreciate you having me.
Hey, I appreciate us. I know we spoke for a long time before we got the show going. This is our first time kind of like talking in a long time. So we were doing a lot of catching up, and I'm glad we did that because, dude, Justin is a down-to-earth person. He's doing deals, and he's going to deliver a lot of content today. So Justin, before we even get started, thanks for the conversation beforehand. But man, how is things going on your end?
Dude, first of all, again, thank you for having me. And just even you and I being able to catch up for the last 40 minutes has been awesome. Things are great. You know, here's the thing is I'm Mr. Positive. And so I say that, but I'd also say it's great because I make it great, right? We have a decision each and every day to wake up to make our day great, make our business great, make our marriage great, make our relationship with kids great. Yep. But listen, we're in a crazy state of ideals maybe not penciling out because the interest rate and, you know, lending getting a little tighter. So there are challenges in my business. There's no doubt, just like I'm sure yours and everyone listening. But we have the decision to find a way to continue to make it happen because what else are we going to do? Go get a job? I mean, I'm not, but I guess someone could, right?
No, I would rather get, I would rather go live out on the street, go hustle, than before I would get a job, because that's how we were talking before. And that's how I lost, the hair on the top was being in the mortgage business. So I don't think I could do that again. I love being self-employed. Sometimes, you know, maybe that helped too with getting some hair out because it could be difficult. It could be challenging, but you know, dude, I know we've had you on the show in the past, but for those that are brand new to learning about Justin, why don't you kind of tell people like when you got started in the business, you know, a little bit about yourself so we can dive in and share more about, because you brought up some good points with what's going on in the market today.
Yeah, so I'm an old head, if that's what the kiddos say these days, I guess. So I've been doing this since 2007, and so if you know anything about 2007, 2008. It was an awesome time to get into real estate, everybody. Awesome. Phenomenal. Long story short, I was a realtor back in 2005, 2006. Okay. I made all sorts of money because everyone in real estate in 2004, 5, and 6 were murdering it. Like just all sorts of money. Now I was young. I was 25. I didn't know what to do with my money. So I bought a really expensive $600,000 condo, just about $589,000 for a 2-bedroom condo. I bought a $100,000 Lexus. I spent 50 grand on furniture on an Amex card, all these things. Lo and behold, the market crashes. And I obviously was not good with money. So as fast as it came in, it went right back out. You know, the classic popping bottles and that whole thing. Right. So I lost it all. My home to foreclosure, the credit cards I walked away from, and the repo man took my car. Really funny story about that, by the way. But I'll just leave it at repo man took my car. Sleeping on my friend's couch. But I loved real estate. I just didn't have any skill sets behind me because, as I mentioned, 2004, 5, 6, if you were breathing in real estate, you were making money, and a lot of it, right? So I realized, you know, I want to do something within real estate. And this is way before Jason Lucchese, Justin Colby, or any of the names that anyone's familiar with. This is way before us, right? There was no big names, big coaching, big TV shows. None of that was reality. Like, I think YouTube had launched by this time, right? Because I think I saw something about, you know, no credit, no cash, no problem. You can flip homes. And I said, huh? And this is before any ads. Do you remember Nathan Jurowitz?
Yeah, that's how I got started. He's actually a good buddy. I got started with his short sales riches program.
So I saw his ad, right? It was Chris McLaughlin and Nathan Jurowitz, and Chris is sitting in front of a house all polished and Mr., slick back hair. And I still talk to Chris to this very day. And so anyways, love these guys. Nate comes walking up like a kid on the street with leopard hair. And you're just like, I don't even know what's going on here, but I'm in. I have no idea, but I'm in. Right.
Yeah.
So long story short, as things would have it, I end up at a massive seminar. I'm broke, sleeping on a couch. And I borrow $25,000 for coaching. Wow. I call a friend during the seminar and I say, I need to change my life and I need help doing it. Would you lend me $25,000? And he did.
Wow. That's a good friend, man.
I was just going to say that is a great friend, but it was a great risk that I took. Now, remember, I always say, and for those that don't know me, you'll hear me say this a lot. It's never about resources. It's about being resourcefulness. I was being resourceful, right? I went and found the investment. If you want to fast forward from there, I basically spent 9 months to get my first deal. I would cold call realtors every day. Again, there was no Privy, there was no PropStream, there was no nothing. There was realtor.com. Okay. So I'm literally just cold calling realtors. I don't even know if they have a listing, right? Like I don't know anything, right? I'm just calling them. So it took me 9 months to get my first deal. Now again, fast forward 15 years, I've been in this space. I've done well over 2,300 deals. That's 2,300 deals and counting. I'm doing roughly 10 to 20 deals a month right now across the nation. I'm actively flipping. I'm actively wholesaling. I'm actively buying for my portfolio. I just bought a $2.4 million storage facility. That's my first, kind of shot at getting into commercial. I love it already. Already profitable.
Congrats, dude.
So, my iterations of my career, I've done a lot of deals. I made a lot of money. I've lost money too, by the way. I've lost 7 figures on a development deal. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I lost, $250,000 on a multi-million-dollar flip. But the key is I've always made more money than I've ever lost, right? And so, I love real estate. And if anyone's listening to this podcast, I hope you love real estate too, because Jace is an incredible leader. You're listening to the right person, and dude, real estate will change everyone's life if they just commit to it. So that's a little background on me. I'm very, very active. I do more national and virtual. COVID gave me that opportunity to do more national and virtual. So I live in Miami right now. I have rentals in Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio, buying one in North Carolina right now. So I'm all over in the nation as long as the deals make sense.
And those are what you just said with those markets. Those are all like solid, stable markets that produce solid cap rates. So very familiar with those markets as well. I know Ohio's just right up here and they have really solid cap rates, very stable. Yeah. Yeah.
They probably have the best. Now, here's my challenge. You probably agree with this, but when I'm buying a rental, I used to care more about the cash flow than I cared about anything else. And I've kind of changed personally my thought process here because I actually want more of the equity play and the appreciation play.
Yes.
Ohio doesn't have the appreciation. It may have the equity. It just doesn't really come with appreciation. So while I have loved it and my cap rates are phenomenal. I mean, I have a duplex that the bottom unit has been vacant for 2 months. My bad. Just the top unit cash flows us $300 a month.
Nice.
So.
Well, and yeah, in Ohio, I would say they're similar to Indy. They're going to give you, depending on where it is, 1% to 3% appreciation on a yearly basis, maybe more depending on where you're at. But that's just what I've seen since I've been here in Indy is from a statistical standpoint. It's very solid and stable, but you won't see like the 5, 10, 15% equity spreads that you'll get year in, year out from other markets. So completely understand. I know Alabama is trending in that way with good appreciation. Not too familiar with Oklahoma, but I'm pretty sure they've been trending upwards as well. So yeah, familiar with those areas. Congrats though on the self-storage. I know some folks that are listening love storage stuff. That's great. I'm glad you did that. We'll have to keep in the loop because I would eventually like to get my own as well, because way back when I was first getting started, I took an in-person event with Scott Myers, which he's right here as well. And he's big into self-storage as well. But man, your background with how you got started as well. That's how I got started as well. I had my phone. I was calling realtors left and right. I was meeting with title companies to make sure that they can do the A to B, B to C transactions with the short sales. It was crazy times, man. Especially I had no money in my pocket as well. So I had actually borrowed money from Mike to get Nathan's short sales riches course. So crazy how you have friends.
Way to be a great friend.
Mike's been a great friend. This 30 years we've been good friends. Yeah, we're getting up there, but dude, so with everything going on with your background, you start off short sales, you're doing some amazing things. You've got a great portfolio. You're doing 10, 20 deals monthly, those are awesome numbers. For those that are listening, maybe they're coming in at the new level. Maybe they haven't done their first deal yet, or maybe we have somebody they're not seeing the consistency in their business. What are you seeing right now? Like where's a great path for somebody to go for that next deal that you're seeing from doing 10, 20 deals on a monthly basis?
Yeah. And I think that's a great question, because I really do want to address the vast majority of people that tend to listen to this. Is a breaking into the industry. You're just getting started. A deal maybe you haven't, you're trying to figure it out. Right. So I would tell you, I coach vastly newer people, right? People who are just breaking in. There is two ways that I believe that you can go get your first deal. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to make the most money on these deals, but it leads to your deal. And I call it investor arbitrage. And then essentially what is now known as, I call it MLS domination, but agent reach out is now what most people are talking about.
Yep.
It doesn't require massive marketing budgets for either verticals. It requires a belief, a commitment, and just sweat equity, right? Like just do the work. These two verticals by far, by the way, these are still two verticals I run in my own business. This is how I'm able to do volume. And volume is only cool probably to the listener, right? Like to say 10 to 20 sounds really cool and it brings in money for sure. But the reality is it's really about revenue, right? And so for you, I want the newbie to go create revenue. I don't care if it's $2,000. That is revenue for you, right? It's the first check. It's the second check. It's getting a belief or consistency in deals. That is paramount above all else, right? Because for a newbie, you might be coming into the space thinking all the competition or the markets are tough and all these other negative things. That's a decision, because you don't have to think that way, right? And I'll tell you, as someone who coaches vastly newbies, my students are getting deals constantly because they're doing the work. Some students aren't getting deals. And when I have conversations with those students, it's excuse. Did you call the realtors? Did you reach out to your buyers? Did you do these things? So I would use those two verticals. Again, I have cute names for them like MLS domination and investor arbitrage, but essentially investor arbitrage is you're finding a buyer for someone else's deal. MLS domination is you're working with an agent to try to find a deal that would make sense for you. Neither have a big marketing budget. Those are the two verticals I tell all newbies to go with.
And since you coach a lot of people, so we don't do a whole lot of the coaching aspect, and you do. With new people coming in, how important do you think it is for them to just get out of their own way and just start having conversations with people?
It is everything. You bring up exactly what I tell these students all the time. Stop perfecting your Mayo formula. Stop underwriting a deal. Stop comping properties for hour before you make the call. Yeah. Stop wasting your time. Like you're just wasting your time. Because what if the person doesn't answer the phone? Now what? You just spent an hour looking at this property, comping the property, analyzing the rehab budget, figuring out where the offer needs to be, 75% of the ARV minus your rehab, minus your wholesale, and you just do this whole hour-long exercise and you make the call and no one answers.
Oh man.
Make the call first.
Yep.
Right? It's always make the call first. Then go back and do your due diligence on numbers and underwriting. This is what the big hedge funds do. They don't sit here and analyze hundreds and hundreds of properties and then call, because if they call and the home was sold, they realize the value of their time. Yep. The hedge funds have true employees that they pay hourly or salary. So if they have an underwriter sitting there just analyzing properties for hours and hours at a time that they're paying, and then by the time an acquisition guy goes to make the call to make the offer and already sold, it's a waste of money. You guys need to think the same way, right? To Jason, your question is perfect. Go out and do the simple thing by just making the call. For some, that's scary. I do understand, right? But the reality is that's what's going to move your needle. In both, it's interesting, Jason. I was just asked in my group, The Science of Flipping. I have a Facebook group.
Highly recommend. Go check it out. Go join.
I appreciate it. Yeah, The Science of Flipping Facebook group, free. I just deliver content. It's there for you guys. Thank you, Jason. I was asked, do I believe agents are going to be like obsolete soon? I mean, I understand that AI and all this stuff is hitting us, and it's like, oh my God, no one's going to have a job anymore. It's all going to be machines and tech and whatever. Real estate, in my humble opinion, I just believe it'll always be a people business. I just believe that, right? Can some of it get removed? Can some of the paper pushing get removed? Okay, fine. But, for someone to go want to buy a home, buy an investment property, they want that hand holding. They want that camaraderie. The reality is this whole business is people. And I'm going to believe that until I'm truly proven otherwise. But make the call first to the agent, to the investor, to the buyer, whoever that call needs to be made of, make it first.
Yep.
Get the confidence of those little wins, right? That call went really well. That builds your confidence. Right? Oh, that call went really bad. Why? Why did that go bad? What happened? Oh, I got really nervous. I got stuck on my questions.
Yep.
Okay, realize maybe your question should be in front of you. Whatever it is, make the call. Those little actions. Let me put it to you guys this way. And for those that watch this or listen to this, I'm going to give you my 5 pillars of success. And in fact, it's something that I believe in so much that I kind of try to keep them a secret, if you will. And it's actually something that I offer my students, but here it is. And this is for you guys. I want you to write it down. 1, decide what you want. Really decide what you want. And as a part of that, you also have to decide who you need to be to get it. Right? So if I decide I want to be a billionaire, along with that decision, which I have decided, by the way, along with that decision, I need to decide who I need to be to go become a billionaire. Because I can't be a party boy. I can't be sitting on the beach living a 4-hour work week bullshit that's out there. I don't even understand that for a second. I can't go do that beach life 4 hours a week and be a billionaire. Doesn't happen, right? So I need to decide that. 2, commit. This is the key. Commit to it. Even if you're doing this business part-time, you have a full-time job, you're just trying to get started, commit to doing it part-time. Commit to it. 3, take massive action. This is Jason's point. Like, do the little actions. Take action. I would rather imperfect action over perfect action. The reason is someone's going to try to perfect something for hours, days, weeks, or months, or years, and they'll never actually go do. It's the doers that are going to win, right? To Teddy Roosevelt's, man in the arena quote, which I think is the best one ever. 4, be extremely uncomfortable. You're going to be okay with it. Here's why it's actually okay. A lot of people don't give you the second layer of being uncomfortable. People don't like it. But here's reality. You made a decision to go get or achieve something that you don't currently have, that you are looking to go get. Well, that is going to push you way outside your comfort zone on every area, right? So if I want to go be a billionaire, I am going to be extremely uncomfortable to go achieve that because I am not currently a billionaire.
Right.
So how am I getting out? Expanding my knowledge, my skill set, my resources, and all of that is going to make me uncomfortable because I currently don't have it, right? So be okay with it. It's not that big of a deal, right? And then last one, and I hope you guys are watching this and writing this down or listening and writing this down, because even though it's number 5, I actually think it's the most important. Remove your improper time result expectation. So what is a time result expectation? I'm going to go do my first deal in the next 30 days. Stop the nonsense.
Yep.
You say it like this. I'm going to do my first deal as fast as possible. The 30 days is what mind fucks people.
Yeah.
Totally. If you don't do it in 30 days and it's the 31st day, oh, my market's too hard. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't. And then you just quit, right? Yep. Ultimately, it leads you to quitting, right? So I talk about being a billionaire more than I ever have. It is rather nerve-wracking, right? Because that's audacious, right? I would say. But I don't tell you when. I don't say I'm going to be a billionaire in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years or 40. I say I'm going to go be a billionaire through real estate specifically. That's it, as fast as I can, period. Put my head down until I get there. Because here's the reality. If I'm striving for that and that's my true goal, if I end up at 500 million, am I really pissed off?
Right.
Probably not. Right?
Yeah.
If I look up 20 years from now, I'm at 500 million. Okay. I'm in.
That solves some problems.
So thank you for letting me go on kind of a soapbox right there, Jason. I really appreciate, because I just believe this to be so fundamentally true. These 5 principles, right? Like, I bet if you talk to Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, RIP, right? Like any of these people, Mark Cuban, whoever, I bet they would agree with my 5, right? And I actually sat down with a billionaire, Grant Cardone, and he agreed with my 5, right? And he always had twists to it.
Wholeheartedly. It makes sense, dude. Like, you bring up the uncomfortable part. Like, God, you and I, when we were first starting, we were probably in very uncomfortable positions. Like when I got that course from Nathan, it was literally like do or die, because I literally, not like I'm not going to go out and die, but I had to make it happen. I didn't want to go back and work in the mortgage industry. It was imploding. And I literally just spent 30, 40 grand on other training products that I remember sitting down in my office and they were all around me. I'm like, where do I even start? The one for Nathan just made sense. But I think I had like $5-10 left in my bank account. I was on unemployment checks weekly. Just got married at the time, and my son was going to be due like in 4 months. So talk about an uncomfortable position. Uncomfortable.
I hope this doesn't happen to you, and I hope it doesn't happen to me. But there will be seasons in Jason's life still, with the amount of success that he has had. There will be seasons in my life that we will get to those similar moments. Maybe it's not $5 left in our bank account, but we'll get to like a oh fuck moment where you feel like it's everything is at the same time. When it rains, it pours. Everything. That is the growth experience, right? Where it's all at one time and you go, oh my God. But it is Jason, me, and those that succeed or at least are in a position you guys are trying to get to. It's because we keep pushing forward in spite of those moments, right? On this journey for me and for Jason, we're going to go through those months, weeks, maybe even a year of just like, oh my God, when is it going to stop? Right? Like we can't get a break. But it's because we keep moving forward that we are going to ultimately get to where we're trying to get. And I hope that helps you guys understand that just because Jason and I may have made it financially and created our incredible lives, and we're no longer in this financial desperation, which we both were, it doesn't mean it doesn't come back in some level, right? Where you get hit in the face with a Mack truck. I told you guys a 7-figure loss on a development. You don't think I was ready to quit? I mean, if it wasn't for an incredible friend, mentor, big brother, 𝐁𝐨𝐿, who literally out of nowhere heard something in my voice and flew in like within a week of me realizing this total loss, I don't know if I'd still be in the space. I mean, he just gave me some real dosage of who gives a fuck, keep going, like get yourself up and keep going. And that's what I needed to hear at the time. And so it also becomes communal based, right? Like you need to be around people that think the same way, that have gone through the crap that you're going through, that can lift you up, can pick you up, can motivate you, can inspire you. And you're listening to the right guy.
I appreciate that, brother. I really do. You bring up a good point there with Kent having a big brother and stuff. How important do you think it is surrounding yourself with the right people, especially if you're getting started, or maybe you found yourself in a rut and you're wanting to get that next deal? How important is it to you to have people that, don't eat crappy food, go to like fast food and eat like garbage, watch tons of TV, have really no motivation or goals in life? How important do you think it is, like surrounding yourself with those right people?
It's only everything. It's only everything. I mean, that's the reality is, you kind of brought, fitness or diet or those type of things, right? Like how important would it be for an alcoholic to not hang around people drinking alcohol, right? Like it's kind of that same thing, like probably pretty important, right? It's probably a very slippery slope with that scenario, right? So it's so important. Let me tell you how important I believe it to be. I just mentioned my Facebook group. I've had it for years. I'm relaunching it because I firmly believe in building a community of like-minded people in the real estate space that are helping one another, sharing tips, tricks, strategies, you name it, to give back to everyone based around my own success within the space, but also to help others elevate, right? Like I'm very clear why I coach, why I give back, why I do these things, because I'm trying to develop business partners for myself. That's it. I want to elevate people to a place where we could be doing business together. We can win together, because the more we win, the more life is amazing, right? I get shivers just even talking about it, because that's the reality of it. And so that group, I'm actually relaunching real time right now. It's the Science of Flipping. I think Wholesaling and Real Estate Investing is the name of it, if you want to go look it up.
We'll have it in the show notes and the description. So if you want to join Justin's group, it's free on Facebook. I highly recommend. I'm in it. Highly recommend that you go check it out.
Hey, book your free strategy session call today by going to 2daycall.com. That's the number 2daycall.com. We'd love to talk to you about how we're tapping into 34 plus lead generation off-market strategies in your market. Most of them too are free. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can help you and your business thrive right now. Head on over to 2daycall.com. Talk to you later. Bye.
It is everything to be around those people, right? Something for if you're listening to this or watching it, the fact that you're here means a lot. Like, I know you may not think that, but for Jason and I to be able to realize there's one person watching this or listening to this that is trying to change their life, trying to surround themselves with the right people, trying to gain a little bit from whatever we're talking about, that's huge for you, the person watching and listening right now. That's who I'm talking to, because you're I call it an info diet. What is your info diet? If you can't be in the circles that Jason and I run it with right now, which hopefully you can soon, digest as much of the information you possibly can that you can gather around Jason or myself or those that you aspire to be. Because what does you no good is Instagram, Facebook, news, and all the other bullshit out there that just, either is highlighting falsities of real life, which is what Instagram does, right? It's always the perfect day in everyone's life all the time. It's amazing, right? Everyone has a perfect day on Instagram.
Right.
And then news, whatever chaos is going on, and dramatize it. And so if you can spend all of your time podcasting, YouTubing, getting into these Facebook groups and communicating and networking with people, we're talking about some events that Jason's doing on his side, some events I'm doing. Get to these events, get to Jason's event, get to my event, get around those rooms. That room, I'm the perfect example. I'm what would be like a case study for how valuable these rooms are. That room that I went to, where I had to borrow $25,000 for coaching, I met 𝐁𝐨𝐿 at. So this is back in 2008.
Oh,
7,
wow.
8. I met Pat Precourt at. And I mentioned these names. Some of you may or may not know these names. These have been lifelong friends to me. They have been lifelong mentors, big brothers. I mean, literally, me and Pat talk almost weekly at this point. And I say that because those rooms are so instrumental in growth and success and achievement and mindset and all those things. Get in those rooms every time you can. $97, $197. I don't care how much they cost. Get there. Because if you can look backwards and connect the dots of what these rooms mean to you, like I can, I mean, these rooms have meant tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars to me because I put myself out there. When I was getting started, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't know anyone in these rooms. They're big. You walk in, you don't know anyone. But man, getting uncomfortable, right? Which is point number 4. It's everything.
I like that, dude. All 5 of those pillars are absolutely exceptional. People have to make sure you rewind this or listen to that part again, write those down. That's how important it is for you to have those. Those are things that you can be implementing every single day in your life, in your business. I don't care what it is. Have it listed. Like I remember when I was first getting started, I had a vision board after I saw The Secret, and I would have things on there. I would have like little, little different like pictures. I had pictures on there. I had different sayings. I just wanted to try and have as much positivity flowing through me as possible. Because, I would go to these events as well, even though, things were tight, budget was tight. I still would make it a point, get to these rooms, get to know people. And I'll tell you, I'm right there with you, Justin. Like that's how important it is. Get in those rooms. You may not be able to go and buy people's programs or get into coaching right now. You might not, but the relationships that you could build in there are huge. It's key. It's paramount to your business. You might not know like person you might bump into. You might go have lunch at one of these events. Maybe they have the capital to get involved with a coaching program and you guys do it together. You never know unless you get into that uncomfortable zone and start having conversations with people. It's that important. So Justin, I know we're kind of tailing down here on the show. One of the things I personally love to do on the show, because there's amazing people that come on here. You've done an exceptional job with explaining and going over things for people. And this has been a really great show. But one of the things I want to find out from you, two things. What's been like a really great staple of a book that you could count on? It's a book that maybe helped you get to where you are today. And then secondly, what's been, something you've either read or listened to, book wise or podcast wise, within the last 12 months that's, kind of sparked you or given you some new ideas?
Yeah, great question. So by the way, I'm a super audiobook guy.
Same.
I was an English major at UCLA, and they made you read, essentially the workload was like 3 full books a week.
Oof.
Right. So I'm reading somewhere between 600 and 1,200 pages every week.
Wow.
So it was a lot. So now I'm kind of like, well, let's go on book. If you look at a great book that I'm reading right now, and it's a little higher level for some people, but I think it would be really educational to think the way Jason thinks, I think in people of mass success, is The Road Less Stupid. It is incredible, dude. And it is by Keith Cunningham.
Okay.
And essentially someone who has made hundreds of millions of dollars, has lost hundreds of millions of dollars, and then remade it. And he goes through like, how do you go make it? And then why did you lose it? And how do you overcome some of these stupid decisions that you lose? And then how do you remake it? Right. So it's just been really impactful to kind of just hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's so many good classics, right? Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Those are classics. I think everyone knows about them. I'm trying to look at one like, I've really loved The Psychology of Money. I thought was a really good book. I think so many people have money issues in their life that they like. A great example, Jason, is someone buying your tax course or someone investing in the other Jason's, 2-day, like, or my coaching, and they have this, oh my God. But it's because of your experience with money, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how to go make it. You don't know how to bring it to you, and everything to money seems like a loss, like a bill or a payment or whatever. And I mean, not that book changed everything for me. I'm just trying to give something maybe different than a lot of the other people would probably say. Psychology of Money has been huge. I do like to offer up as many as I can that have just, essentialism.
That's a great book, dude. That's Greg McKeown, right? I remember, like, I'm an audio guy too. I listened to that book and I was just like, dang, that's awesome. That's a great freaking book, dude. I'm glad you brought that one up. I don't think anybody's brought up that book on the show before. So get the audiobook. I love doing audio if I'm mowing the lawn or going on a walk, whatever. You could listen to these books from wherever. And depending on where you're at, you could always speed them up too. So if you want to get through these books quickly, you could get through them quickly. I can't go above like a 1.5 speed or else it, gets a little chipmunky.
1.7 is usually where I rest.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Now, 1.7, it's also hard for me to take notes. I actually like to try to take notes on a lot of these books. So 1.5, I can take notes. 1.7, I'm like, okay, I'm moving a little fast.
Yeah, it does get a little bit fast there, but I know you have something too to where people could reach out to you. We're gonna have a link right here, no flipping excuses, and it's gonna be noflippingexcuses.com/TSOF for the science of flipping. Yes. So noflippingexcuses.com/TSOF. Now, Justin, when they enter that into their browser, where's that going to take them?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll have them just give me a little information about them, and where they're at and what are their challenges, and see how we can help them. I mean, I have a lot of resources. I have a lot of team members. I can be vastly a great resource to help you guys, whether it's trying to get your first check, what direction to go in, what market to choose, how do I get into rehab flipping, how do I like, we have a lot, right? And so if you do that, I'll just send you guys something. That page will bring you to something where I can just gather a little information about you to figure out where you're at and how we can be helpful to you. And that's what that page will be. And I think lastly, you know, my Instagram is a great place to just check me out a little bit more. If this is the first time meeting me or hearing me or seeing me, the Justin Colby. And by the way, there's a ton of fake Justin Colby's out. I'm not joking.
Oh,
like,
no.
I swear. So mine, I think, has about 120,000 followers. So if you're looking at it, that's about the number I'm at.
Awesome, dude. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. That was an amazing episode. If you guys didn't take notes, make sure you go back to the beginning, watch it. This one definitely earned a thumbs up from you. If you are not a subscriber yet, make sure you click that button right below. If you're listening to this on iTunes, make sure you give us a 5-star review. Justin hit it out of the park, Babe Ruth style. Do that. Make sure you become a subscriber of the podcast if you're not already. We would love to make sure that you hear more content just like this of people doing deals and how you could be doing more deals in your business and living the life that you want on your terms. But other than that, on behalf of Mr. Justin Colby and myself, we will see you on the next episode. Take care. Have a great day. Bye now.
Peace.